important issues about that. Do you want to paint a long distance view? Do you want receding lines into the distance? Do you want to go up into flowers? Do you want to show, that's your site selection. That's not composition yet, but where do you want to be? And then composition, of course, is very key, as we just talked about. So when your left edge of your painting, from a composition point of view, is to the left of the thing and you can see beyond it, what does it feel like it's a painting of?
Gazebo.
It's a gazebo painting. And as soon as you bring that left edge in, you can show the peak of the roof, but don't cut that off. But bring about a third of the gazebo, cover that up. And now what do you have? What kind of a painting do you have now?
A walkway.
It's a stairway painting. It's just that slight shift in composition is just going to make. Now one's not better painting than the other, really. I think either of those could work. But if I want to focus on this, and I let the far distance show, I'm actually going to be working against myself, and that's all that this helps you do. And then the way you're going to capture, if you do especially a long view, thinking about the way you're going to capture the distance. And if you all are experienced, I'm sure, with the notion of atmosphere in a landscape painting. That might not come into play here with this scene of the garden, but if you consider what atmosphere is doing to you, if you're up in the marshes and you're looking off 10, 15, 20 miles, you know that the distance is going to be cooler, so you're going to shift to the cooler colors. Even a slight shift will make a huge difference, and the value is going to go down. You're going to go down in value a little bit. So the colors, if it's the same color out there as you have right in front of you, it needs to be lighter in value. And it's a simple trick dealing with the value in colors to give your painting a sense of depth and to create that sort of sense of atmosphere. I've seen videos of Richard McKinley painting, a very internationally renowned pastel landscape painter. And at the end, he's not quite comfortable with the distance thing going on, and he takes something in a warm, orange, pinky area, and he's doing some brush in the front of him. He just adds that to the lower part of it, and all of a sudden, whoop, that stuff comes right forward. Now he's resolved the issue. So warmth is front, cool is back, and things in the trees going up at this angle, and the sort of sight line taking, this is where you enter the painting, that's where you go, and that's where it takes you. He says those are good possibilities. Those are good compositions. But then he says there's a better one. And the better one involves opening up a little bit, like about that much on the right, and he tells you why. And that is because he has this dark tree coming in, creating a circle there which becomes its own center of focus. It didn't exist before until you moved over to the right and create this circle of focus. And so your eye goes this way, this way, this way, and then it also comes to rest in that nice see-through distance area. And so these are all really kind of fun things to just try out and practice with as you're doing. There's no right and there's no wrong, and you don't have to be perfect because you just paint it again. Okay? And these are some of the potential scenes around this garden here. And the one I settled on is probably, it derived from, I think, this here, the sense of like, I just like these things going on here. So I'm not going to do that, but the things you do before you start painting are probably the most important things, and that is your decisions about your site, your composition, and working some of that out in thumbnailing. And then there's another step of basically doing a value sketch. Do you all do value sketches when you're approaching a landscape painting outdoors?
I feel like that's like how I get drawn into wanting to make something more.
Okay. It can be a discrete next step is to work after this line sketch, work on a value sketch using a soft pencil or a charcoal. In pastel, I find that I do my value sketch where I'm working out the values to see what the range of dark and light is and whether I have shapes. Do I have a dark shadow shape that works its way in an interesting way through the painting. I'll work that out on the actual pastel itself. It'll be that charcoaling that I do underneath it. So I don't do a separate sketch for that, I just work it out here. Which part of what I like about pastel is that I just make a sandwich. I use clips to hold it together. And there's 3 parts. There's the, oops, this is the wrong one. There's another painting. This is a painting I worked on at Lansing Farm a couple of weeks ago. The middle of the sandwich is a sort of, you know, a try-it-out framer. I don't know if it's going to be this.
That's really cool. You've done like warm in the distance and all the cool in the foreground.
Yeah. And then when I want to cover it and run, all I do is take it off the easel, I do this, clip it together, and I'm out. I'm out of here really fast. Well, the first thing I'm trying to figure out is the decision I made earlier on was this would be a vertical. And that was from a not too great photo I took a month ago or so. And I'm just thinking it might end up being horizontal here now.
From this angle, it looks like those stairs have an S curve.
My favorite is a square. What's that?
I was saying from this angle, it looks like the stairs have an S curve.
Yeah, they do. They do. Well, that's an important element of it for me. That's probably what I'm going to focus on. So. I'm going to begin by taking the predominant horizontal line. Since I don't have a horizon line here, I'm going to take the horizontal that goes across and I'm going to put that up fairly high in the painting. And it angles slightly up to the right. Something like that, and I'm going to sort of block out with the vine charcoal the sort of the general idea about things. So I've got I'm going to want the stairs to kind of they come down like so, and then they get obscured to come so. This is all with the vine charcoal. The vine charcoal, to your question, does not bother anything that's going to happen on top of it. I could sort of rub it away. It's very, very soft. But now I'd like to set some of these lines and work out the details. It's really not. I think I've got some things out of proportion and so forth, and I'll try to work that out with the general stick, which is a hard charcoal stick. I hate to do this, but the first thing I do when I get these is I break them. So. You just have to work with a smaller length of it. But I'm going to echo some of these lines now that are important ones. One of the big decisions you have to figure out is where's your eye level here. So it helps. I looked at eye level as being the floor. So above the floor of the gazebo, things are getting increasingly steep as you go up, and it helps to have an anchor point, and that is where is your horizontal line that represents your horizon line. So there's no horizon here, but that's where it would be, and that's why you see me going straight across here at this level, and that just helps sort of anchor your perspective. So you want to test out the perspective here, see if everything is okay. You know, it goes over here, it steps up a step, so there's actually a couple of steps over here, and then it goes up to here, and then you've got this other fence thing going on over here. And now the cool part is, you know, we've got to work on these stones. That's what really makes this scene in